So I decided that I'm going to do this video standing up rather than sitting down because the ground is soaked because it rained. So, um, specifically what it is that I'm going to talk about in this video, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I know that I have a few things to explore. Let's start off with reading. I recently got back into reading and I'm super pumped about that because it allows me to explore subjects that are actually interesting for me. And sorry for the background noise, by the way. Yeah, I was just at the library with my partner the other day, and it's just so interesting. I I'm catching myself now because I'm trying to create a conscious pattern of no longer telling the story of my past and instead telling the story of my future. And sometimes it's challenging to break, and other times it's also like an opportunity to challenge myself to figure out how to get around that and to instead like talk in a very beneficial, productive way about my future, right? And it's interesting because I am somebody who loves to read. And as I'm saying that I'm somebody who loves to read, there's a part of me that wants to be like, but look at your past. And I'm challenging that part of me to sit in the present. And I'm not lying when I say that I love to read. I genuinely do love to read. And I have a tendency to read like personal growth stuff, like all that kind of stuff, psychology, philosophy. And it's just fun. It's really fun to read. It's cool to learn about different concepts and everything, different ways of approaching things and thinking about things. And I was actually looking up the benefits when it comes to reading. There's a lot of benefits. It's extremely good for your mental and emotional health, like out of this world good. And there are libraries. You can go into a library and rent out a book for free. Like it's crazy. So yeah, that's super exciting. One of the most beneficial aspects of that, in my opinion, is the level of potential creativity that comes with it, right? So, like, I started to practice writing with my non-dominant hand, and I did that in part because I wanted to be disciplined. I wanted to try something that was hard, and it said that if you do that, if you do anything with your non-dominant hand, you open up the potential to light up the right hemisphere. There we go. The right hemisphere of your brain, which deals with imagination and creativity and all that stuff. So I wanted to see how that could potentially positively affect my life. So I tried it, and yeah, I've been doing it for years now, and I'm not going to stop doing it. It's just so cool to see where I am now. And it's also really cool to like challenge myself to talk solely from a standpoint of future based. And I've been clicking myself out of it. Like whenever I find myself like thinking about the past, like I click myself into the present moment and I project into the future, with nothing but potential, of course. Not thinking about like I'm not like, it's not that I'm afraid of the future. It's the exact opposite, actually. I'm projecting really great energy into the future. And that's just what you have to do when it comes to creating a conscious life. It's very interesting, too, because no. There we go. I stopped myself again. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting good at this. And it takes time, it takes patience, it takes effort. It takes the willingness and capacity to stop yourself in the moment. Listen, changing your life literally requires conscious effort. I mean, that's just the way that it is. Like that's the simple foundation of it. It depends on like to what degree you want to change your life, right? But like say for instance, if you're somebody who carries around a bunch of ants, automatic negative thoughts, right? And you never challenge them. They're I'm a worthless piece of shit, whatever it is. There are a ton of, oh, I can't do it, I'll never be able to do it, I'll never be good at, like, yeah, just all ants, all automatic negative thoughts. So if you're somebody that carries around a bunch of those things, you have to challenge yourself. You have to stop yourself in the moment and challenge the thoughts. You can't just allow things to be there, because if you allow that stuff to take up the mental and emotional space, you know, it's just going to continue, like, it's only going to continue to be the same thing over and over again. It's only when you change a pattern or delete a pattern for it. Yeah, I would argue change a pattern that things change. But until then, nothing's going to change. You have to approach it from a very conscious standpoint. You got to look directly at those thoughts and be like, oh, that's not authentic to me. That didn't come from my own, the way that I see myself. That's just the way that I don't know. That's the ideas that I was raised with. I had parents that had low self-esteem, and that's what I was raised with. It's all about challenging it. You got to challenge it, because there's a very good chance that a lot of what you think about yourself in regards to low energy, low self-esteem, all that stuff, is just parroted. Somebody said it to you and you repeated it. Somebody said it to you. They said it to you in a very vulnerable time in your life when you couldn't tell the difference between this and that, and you adopted it, and you just decided to, so it's like you're running in a race, right? The baton was handed off to you, and you just took it without question. Meanwhile, that baton had a whole bunch of low energy bullshit, low self-esteem, limiting belief systems that came with it, and you just kept running with it. You kept carrying a bunch of weight that was never yours to carry because, again, you were vulnerable. You didn't know what the fuck you were doing. You just accepted it. But now it's time to challenge that stuff. It's time to put that stuff under a microscope and, see it clearly and realize, like, oh, wow, that came from my parents. Oh, shit, that's not mine to carry. And then it all changes. But you've got to do that consistently. You've got to stop yourself in the moment when you're having these thoughts and actually challenge them, because that's the only way that these things are going to change. But I can pretty much tell you right now that a lot of people are carrying this stuff around, weight that they don't need to, right? And it can be different. You don't have to see yourself in a negative, low energy, bullshit, undeserving, unworthy light. You don't. Somebody else gave you that, and you just, you never questioned it. And that's just, through repetition, through patterns, it brought you to where you are. And that's all there is to it. So, yeah.